Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our London studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin tonight with developments from Pakistan's parliament, where the upper house has unanimously condemned a recent wave of terrorist attacks in Balochistan. The Senate adopted a resolution rejecting any negotiations with militants while calling for a transparent investigation and stronger security measures across the province. Government leaders stressed national unity against terrorism, dismissing claims that the unrest is driven by local grievances and instead describing it as organized violence backed by hostile forces. Opposition members urged greater accountability and improvements in the rule of law. The resolution also paid tribute to the sacrifices of security forces, called for enhanced intelligence and counter-terrorism efforts, and noted that dozens of militants have been killed, with officials vowing to bring all perpetrators to justice. Staying with Balochistan, Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Muhammad Asif has told the National Assembly that no one will be allowed to justify or rationalize violence following the recent large-scale attacks. He rejected attempts to portray the violence as a freedom movement, calling such narratives false and a cover for criminal activity. Asif reiterated there would be no talks with terrorists, describing the movement as hijacked by smugglers and criminal networks. He also pointed to alleged foreign support for militant elements and stressed the need for tougher action to restore peace in the province. For more on the situation on the ground, we're joined by our correspondent in Balochistan. Walter Cooper is standing by. Walter, what's the latest?
Chris, security officials here say operations have been intensified across several affected districts following the Senate's resolution and the defense minister's remarks. Authorities are focusing on intelligence-led actions aimed at dismantling militant networks and cutting off their supply lines. At the same time, there is heightened security for civilians and key infrastructure amid fears of further attacks. Political voices continue to differ on whether force alone can stabilize the province, but for now the emphasis from Islamabad remains firmly on security. Residents here say lasting peace will depend on both safety and meaningful engagement with local communities.
Thank you, Walter Cooper, reporting from Balochistan. Meanwhile, opposition leader Mahmood Khan Achakzai has described Balochistan as a blind spot for Pakistan, saying much of the country still does not fully understand the province's realities. He called for political dialogue and inclusive engagement to address long-standing grievances, arguing that slogans alone cannot keep the nation united. Achakzai stressed that local people must be assured of a fair share in the province's natural resources and decision-making processes. His remarks come as debate grows over the need for a political approach alongside security measures to restore stability. Turning to defense diplomacy, Pakistan's Chief of Defense Forces, Field Marshal Asim Munir, has reaffirmed Islamabad's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties with Libya. Speaking after a high-level meeting in Rawalpindi with Libyan military chief Field Marshal Khalifa Abu al-Qasim Haftar and his deputy, Munir said both sides discussed regional security, professional cooperation, and shared goals for peace and stability. He welcomed the Libyan delegation and emphasized Pakistan's support for Libya's institutional development. The meeting reflects long-standing friendly relations, following a multi-billion-dollar deal for Pakistan to supply military equipment to the Libyan National Army. Back home in Punjab, authorities have approved the manufacture of permissible kite-flying materials in 4 additional districts: Faisalabad, Kasur, Multan, and Sheikhupura, ahead of the Basant Festival in Lahore. The festival will take place from February 6 to 8 under strict safety regulations, allowing only cotton string and standard-sized kites. Metallic strings and oversized kites remain banned, and manufacturers must register with local authorities. Traders will be allowed to sell materials in Lahore only through authorized channels, while no-fly kite zones have been imposed near Lahore Airport to ensure aviation safety. Officials say the move aims to balance cultural tradition with public safety. Internationally, United States President Donald Trump has announced what he calls a new trade deal with India following talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Trump said India has agreed to stop buying Russian oil and may increase purchases from the United States and possibly Venezuela. He also said reciprocal tariffs on U.S. goods would fall from 25% to 18%, while India would reduce tariffs on U.S. products to 0. The agreement is expected to unlock trade opportunities worth more than $500 billion across energy, technology, and agriculture. Prime Minister Modi welcomed the deal on social media, calling it beneficial for both economies and future cooperation. Finally, tonight, Iran and the United States are set to resume nuclear negotiations this Friday in Turkey, according to officials. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has ordered the start of talks with Washington, as both sides seek to ease tensions over Tehran's nuclear program. Regional partners, including Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Egypt, are expected to be involved. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi will lead the discussions in Istanbul, with both sides saying the talks will focus strictly on the nuclear issue amid efforts to prevent a wider regional conflict. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.